Hey y'all, hope all is well. So, I want to talk about Cornel West, Brother West, as they say. Grew up a lot of respect for him. I remember watching him when he did a lot of work with Tabitha Smiley, with the Contract of Black America, and really appreciated a lot of his critiques of Obama. He was one of the few black leaders that was willing to come out and publicly condemn Obama for his war crimes. Great. Cornel's always been a progressive, and there's, maybe been disagreements about some of the things he's promoted. I really kind of felt like he was always all lives matter. He was very much integrationist, but I still felt like he was very principled. But recently, he's become an op, y'all. I noticed, he started working with the white supremacist commentator, Jimmy Dore, and he was involved in forming, he actually is one of the co-founders of the People's Party, which is founded by this guy named Nick Brenner, some fool from Argentina who's a rapist, a white supremacist, literally had all the black people who were part of that party banned. So he co-founded this party with Jimmy Dore. And of course, Jimmy Dore is one of these class first white supremacists, likes to go on Tucker Carlson and kind of flirt and kiss his ass. So that is who Cornel has been hanging out with. Not only that, he recently praised Ron DeSantis by saying that, Ron DeSantis is, doing something, he praised him in the Washington Journal. I don't even know what he praised him for. It's really irrelevant. The fact that any black man will praise a cracker like Ron DeSantis says enough. But essentially, the Republicans now are using Cornel as the new Kanye. Kanye, basically was just, a so-called independent that ran a miserable campaign in 2020 to help Donald Trump. Now Cornel is being used in the same way. It seems as though because Cornel kind of got involved with some of those white progressives who were kind of leaning towards the right, like Jimmy Dore, with the People's Party. Now, his whole campaign is just being run and managed by Republicans. His campaign is broke. He's only raised $1 million, and you could check out Open Secrets, where they talk about how some of the money he's gotten has been from oil and gas. Even though he's supposedly going to be fighting climate change, I call bullshit. Unfortunately, Cornel has sold out to right wing money, and I get it. The white right has a lot of power, they have a lot of influence, and they make a lot of shit happen. And Cornel has hopped on that train, and I know many of you are excited about his campaign, because he's down with ADOS and reparations and. And the whole ADOS thing is another right-wing campaign that's being funded by people like Ann Coulter, who says that Kamala Harris is not a foundational black, which is the exact same language that the people on the internet, some of these far-right black folks say on the internet. So, what's really being done here is kind of bait and switch. The Republicans want Cornel to be on these battleground ballots to take away votes for Kamala. Now, Kamala, is not a good candidate. Truth be told, we're never going to get any good candidate that's going to run for president of the United States. Any president of the American empire is going to be committed to genocide. They are going to be a cop. They are going to be a military leader, and they are going to protect and serve the rich. Period. Only way that's going to change is through the end of civilization itself. But it's important to know that, Cornel has campaigned on the whole genocide issue, saying that he sides with Palestine. And this was the same guy that right after October 7th, was saying that he supports Israel's right to defend themselves and he doesn't want Jewish babies to suffer, making these kind of wild, totally kind of ridiculous comments, condemning people who have had their land stolen, saying the same talking points that hardcore Zionists like Nancy Pelosi, like Barack Obama, like Kamala Harris say. He said that on his Twitter publicly. condemning Hamas, saying he wants to free Palestine, but then condemns the group that is actively working to free Palestine, regardless of whether you support them or their methods. So he's full of shit. He is a Zionist, which means that he supports genocide, just like Jill Stein. So don't fall for the Cornel West bait and switch. He's working with ADOS. People have called out ADOS for a long time, how they're a white nationalist funded, basically AstroTurf campaign to bring black folks over to the right through the promise of reparations, through the promise of getting rid of all these immigrants, including black immigrants. So Cornel, unfortunately, I don't know. I mean, the brother hasn't lost his mind, but, I just feel like he sold out to that right-wing money. I did a whole article about it. You could check it out. But I just wanted to, do a video talking about my research and what I found about him. I know he talks a good game. He's very, he's very progressive. He speaks about people in a very beautiful manner, which is good. But when you kind of really look into it, you see he's got some hardcore Zionists, white supremacists, and Nazis. He actually took money from a Nazi billionaire that funded Clarence Thomas. This is not a candidate or campaign that you need to get behind. And again, I'm not saying this as a blanket endorsement of Kamala, but Cornel just ain't it, and he does not want to win anyway. Obviously, if he only raised $1 million, his campaign is broke, and it's being managed by Republicans. He has no desire to win. He's not been doing any campaigning. His campaign is just a fraud. So watch out for these third-party grifters, because they are exploiting people's legitimate anger about the genocide in Palestine and about the totally rotten political system that we live under. But, going these third-party routes is not the solution to bring about positive change. We have to organize, and we have to, organize. And, and from there we can kind of decide what we should do from there. All right, y'all. Peace.